Good morning. This is the March 5th, 2025, 9:30 Board of Appeals Town of Hempstead meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
Do we have anyone in the audience who has not been here before? No? Good, then I don't have any remarks. Everybody knows the way we run the hearings. Any requests for an adjournment, Patrick?
No request for adjournment on the morning,
We don't
sir.
have many people here. Okay.
First, we have case 11825, Inwood, Rafael Russo, Elizabeth Russo, Caitlin Russo, Megan Jar Gallegos, and Kristen Mendrad. Renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 84 Lord Avenue.
Okay. Patrick?
My name is Caitlin Russo. I reside at 84 Lord Avenue in Inwood, New York, 11096.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is a renewal of a grant to maintain a two-family dwelling, is that correct?
Yes.
The building department inspected the premises on December 12, 2024, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been complied with. Do you have anything else you'd like to state?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on a decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Next, we have case 11925, East Meadow, Rosario Almendia. Renewal of grant to maintain 4-foot-high fence within clear sight triangle, also known as 2255 Jefferson Street. Mr. Chairman, we have an application for an appearance waiver on this
Okay.
matter.
This is residential. We'll grant the application for an appearance waiver. The building, for the record, the building department inspected the premises on December 12, 2024, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by the board are being complied with. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on a decision calendar. The applicant will be notified by mail when the board decides the case.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Next, we have cases 12025 through 12225, Merrick Building and Remodeling.
Thank you.
Variance, side yard, replace 2 AC units, attached dwelling, special exception to maintain shed higher than permitted with less than required setback on Clark Street, maintain 10-foot-high living fence in front yard on Clark Street and within clear sight triangle at owner's driveway, and maintain 15-foot-high living fence, also known as 2049 Decker Avenue.
Morning, Chairman, members of the board. Richard M. Pavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, appearing as the agent for Mercury Building Remodeling. The owner is George Ferretti. Subject location is 2049 Decker Avenue, located in Merrick. It's a one-family dwelling. Respectfully requesting cases 120, 121, and 122 be heard as one.
So moved.
So we have variances. My client purchased this house back in 2002, owned it for 23 years. It's his actual living residence. There was an open permit from 2003, and we then filed applications in 2022 to legalize existing conditions at the property, bring it into compliance. We have 3 variances, one which is for 2 AC units, both at 1.6 feet on a northeast side of the property from the property line. And we have a second variance for an existing shed located in the northwest corner of the property, which is 1.39 from the west property line and 2.58 south of the north property line. There are no driveway abutting this property at all.
How high is the shed?
It's
Because,
10 foot, 10 inches, 1 foot 10 over the allowable, but there's a living fence, which is the third variance, which covers the shed, and you can't really see it because of the living fence, although there's a chain link fence there also, but the living fence actually isn't, covers that also. So that's the third variance, and that one, if you look at the site plan we submitted, you have Clark Street, which is where that living fence is located, and in the middle of it, there's a gate, double gate. So it appears that that's used as a driveway to bring vehicles in, when actually it's not. If you look on the site plan also, on Decker Avenue, they have a circular driveway. And my client and his family actually just use the circular driveway for the vehicles. No vehicles go to the back. It's basically just an access. That's the way he's had it for years. Again, and it has the living fence, which is really creating that clear side issue, but it's just used for access to the backyard.
so as you mentioned, I believe you mentioned that if these variances are granted, you're going to close out all the
Yes.
open permits,
Yes.
applications?
That's what we're doing now. We have full plans for everything that's on the property, including closing out the 2003 permit. So that's being superseded by the new applications that have been filed in 2022 by our firm.
Okay.
And I did speak to my client last night. He has no issues, neighbors, very friendly. He's been there for many years, and he's just looking just to close out everything and clean up everything on the property.
I believe you've stated that the setbacks for the shed was 2.58 and 1.39 existing.
That's correct. From the west property line, it's
Okay.
1.39, and then from the north property line, it's actually southerly 2.58.
What does the building code require?
In that one, because it's a corner property, it would have been a 5-foot setback for an accessory or detached structure in that location.
Okay.
And but again, just to the fact that it is covered by the living fence, I asked him when was the shed put up. He said he actually put this up when he purchased the house, that it's been there for the 23 years, and it hasn't had any adverse impact to the next door neighbor to the north or to anybody across the street. So he's respectfully requesting to keep the shed in its current location.
And there is no driveway on Clark Street for the neighbor up to the north?
That is correct, and the site plan does say that, neighbor's lawn, no driveway.
I see that. The air conditioning units in the side yard?
East side yard,
East
yes.
side yard, are they going to be replaced?
They were replaced,
They were replaced.
yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you very much and have a good day.
You
too.
too.
Take care.
Next, we have cases 12325 through 12625. Merrick, Anthony, and Rosemary A. Pata. Mother-daughter residence, second kitchen. Variance, lot area occupied. Construct one-story addition and second-story deck, both attached to dwelling. Variance, side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling. Variance, side yard, install AC unit attached to dwelling. Also known as 1732 Lippold Street.
Good morning. Anthony Pata, 1732 Lippold Street, Merrick, New York.
Jean Kennedy Stevens, 124 Haley Drive, Santa Mauritius, New York, 11793. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies
Morning.
and gentlemen of the board. Mr. Anthony Patter of 1732 Leopold Street, Merrick, Residential Zone B, Section 55, Block 155, Lot 14, is requesting variance approval as follows. 1, a lot area occupied to construct a one-story addition and a second-story deck, which will create a 31.85% lot coverage when 27.5 is allowed, exceeding the allowable coverage by 4.35%, which represents 261 additional square feet of lot coverage. The proposed addition being asked for will be 21.73 feet by 33.85 feet, which includes the deck, and is a total of 720.24 square feet. At present, the house is maintained with the deck, and the shed included is 21.6%. Also, we are requesting a side yard variance for a proposed AC unit to maintain and an AC unit that is already existing. They are both will be maintaining a two-foot side yard when 5 foot is required. The existing AC unit has been in the side yard ever since Mr. Pata has owned his home, which has been for over 30 years. The units are on the side of a abutting property that has an existing deck, and we have obtained letters from the neighbor, Mr. Broderick, giving his approval of the variance project. I'd like to hand in some consent letters from the neighbors, giving
We'll
their
accept
approval.
those.
Mr. and Mrs. Patter are requesting approval also for a parent-child use variance under application 24-1472. Today appearing before me is Mr. Anthony Patter. Unfortunately, Rosemary Patter is unable to attend today. She is a caregiver for her elderly parents who are presently having a difficult time. Also, due to illness, their son Nicholas Patter is unable to appear. Residing in the dwelling on the lower level will be Rosemary and Anthony Patter, with the new one-story addition will be part of the occupied living space, and it will house a secondary master bedroom with a walk-in closet, a master bathroom, a secondary kitchen, and eating area. The existing rec room will become the secondary existing rec room. There is an existing three-piece bathroom, utility room, which houses the mechanical equipment along with the washing machine and dryer. There is an existing two-car garage. On the upper level is where Nicholas Patter will reside. The existing house will become primary existing rooms, and the only change will be the replacement from the old deck to a new deck. Mr. and Mrs. Patter has chosen to do the residing in the lower level due to Mrs. Patter's deep problem and difficulty in climbing stairs. The household will have a total of 2 vehicles in use that will occupy the driveways for off-street parking. I reviewed with my client the letter of resolution from the Board of Architects reviewed after going over the drawings for the mother-daughter use to confirm with the town's codes. There will not be separate entrances or separate gas, electric, or water meters. There will not be separate doorbells or mailboxes. And upon sale of the house within 30 days,
PAR?
excuse me, the town is to be notified and the house is to come back to a single-family residence as shown in the conversion drawings. I have provided the board with several letters from the surrounding neighbors who have given their consent for this variance approval. Thank you for your time and consideration in Mr. and Mrs. Patter's variance requests.
For the record, on each of these applications, the Board of Architectural Review makes a recommendation as to whether or not, upon cessation of the mother-daughter use, the property is suitable to be returned to a one-family dwelling, and the board has made found that that is the case in connection with this application. The client is aware that upon sale, that they're familiar,
Yes, I state yes.
they're familiar with all the mother-daughter.
Correct. Has to be sent back to the original
Correct.
single-family
Okay.
dwelling.
There's a,
Yes, there's a shed, and there
is there a shed in the backyard?
Yes, there's a shed, there's a building permit open for it, too. It's application 24-1219, which is to maintain a 6-foot PVC and a 4-foot PVC fence, and application 241221 to maintain a shed in the rear yard.
Okay.
All are accounted for and permitted, but waiting for the hearing that this
The
will
shed
continue.
has been issued a permit?
No, it's an application.
Oh.
It's an open permit,
Un-
pending,
But did-
going
so-
forward with the
Oof,
variance.
Wait a minute. The fence needs a variance.
Yes, there is permits for fence.
The one in the front yard, 4 foot.
6 foot and a 4 foot, yes. On application 24.
It doesn't have a permit, does it?
No, it's an open building permit.
Oh, it's not an open building permit, it's an application.
Well, it says open building permit on the search sheet.
So you're saying that a permit was issued
Yes,
for both the fence in the front, 4-foot fence, and the shed in the rear?
correct.
And they need whatever
Final
they...
inspections, which will all take place after,
Okay.
Also, with respect to the deck, you're aware that the board generally favors applications where the applicant will consent to a condition that the deck never be enclosed. Is your client willing to do that?
yes. Previous deck was also that's in existence now, is just a deck and was never enclosed as well.
Ms. Kennedy, there might be an issue with the fence and the
Front of the house.
in front of the house, the 4-foot high, because it's a solid fence. If it was an open picket fence, it would be visible, and your client backing out of his driveway and maybe the next door neighbor, it wouldn't present any visual problems, safety issues. But because it's a solid fence, and perhaps the building department,
Doesn't look like it would prevent a inside triangle. They still have a couple of feet on the other side. Okay.
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
No, I'm just saying, I was not, I'm seeing from the site plan where the 4-foot fence is, the PVC fence. The fence to the right of the house, according to Mr. Hatter, is not his fence. It was put up by the owner to the right, Mr. Broderick. The fence, I guess that's a 4-foot to the left that's low, belongs to him, but I was not aware that there is a fence on the side yard, because I saw there were permits for the fence, which I thought were just going across the front of the house, 6 foot going along the back and the sides, and since there was a permit, I didn't even look into it. There didn't seem to be an issue. There was no variance. There was- so
I get it, I
yeah.
understand.
So I was not aware that that fence to the left belonged to Mr. Patter. I thought the fence permits were for the front and along the side and the back. So we're having a problem with
The
the
4-foot
4-foot
solid
fence
fence
to the
on
left, to the
yeah,
driveway.
on the left.
Okay.
No, the right.
Well, to the right doesn't belong to him.
This doesn't belong to him.
That little fence, okay, I understand now. Thank you.
This one belongs to him.
Okay.
That's his side.
How long is the fence?
A long time, I couldn't say for sure, but a long time,
Oh, it-
15, 20?
about 10 years, yeah, maybe.
It's not an issue for the mother-daughter and the other requests that you're asking for. However, it's going to be flagged and sent back to the building department for a re-review.
Okay.
And if there was an error made, they'll notify you that there's an error made. They should not have issued a permit. Or if they did it correctly, they'll just ignore it. You won't hear from us.
Okay. I said, we'll have to, I guess, wait to see what happens on that. And if
Yes.
anything, I said we'll have to be cut down to a 4-foot, one section for clear sight going
Yes.
out of the driveway,
Yes.
which I'm sure we can take care of.
It is what it is. It's
It is
there.
what it, right. It
Yes.
is what it is.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was unaware of that, like I'm saying. I'm assuming that the fence, and since there was no problem with it, and it's not a variance, that it was just a matter of, being signed off when all this goes through and for the final inspection.
That's a good assumption, but Mrs. Adams is on the ball today.
Very good. Thank you. I think.
That concludes your presentation.
Yes, it does. Thank
Any
you.
other questions from the board?
I move
Not?
the hearing.
Do I have a
I
motion?
apologize. I move
That's
the hearing
quite
be
all right.
closed and the case placed on the decision calendar. On the board-
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off.
no, no.
Good to go?
I can handle it.
Next we have
Thank you very
cases-
much.
Next, we have cases
Nice day.
12725 through 12825. Uniondale, Eric Jex and Jocelyn Novoa. Variances, height, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, construct two-story addition, second-story additions, second-story additions, a portion of which is open below and roofed over, open porch, all attached to dwelling. Variance, lot area occupied, maintained two-car detached garage, also known as
This one is
226 Green Grove
This
Avenue.
one with the trailers on East Rock. Yeah.
Kurt Jacobs, architect, 201 Northwest Drive, Farmingdale, New York. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Morning, Mr. Jacobs.
Eric Jex and Jocelyn Noboa has asked me to appear before you with their variance requests. They have owned the house since 2012. They propose to add a second-story front addition and a second-story addition in the rear. The proposed additions do not further encroach into the front and rear yard than the existing house. The property is located in a Residence B zone with a 6,000 square foot minimum lot size and a 60-foot width. Our lot is 5,000 square feet and 50-foot wide. If you look at the radius map, there's properties there's properties that go from 4,000 square foot to 8,000 square foot, all in the same area. The proposed lot coverage will be 29.7% on the existing 5,000 square foot lot. If we had the minimum required 6,000 square foot, the lot coverage would be 24.78%, and we wouldn't need a lot area variance. We're only adding 108.63 square foot to the existing footprint. And again, it's squaring off the house, not going beyond any of the existing areas of the house. The average front yard setback is 22.1 feet. The existing setback to the house, and that's the original house and the proposed addition, is 19.5 feet. Okay, so it's a difference of about 2.5 feet. But again, the 19.5 feet is prior existing to the original house. The ridge of the proposed additions will align with the top of the existing ridge that exists at the second floor, which is 30 foot 4 inches above the crown of the road. The existing first floor elevation is 3.7 foot above the crown of the road. The existing and proposed ridges from grade is 28 foot 4 inches. We're also maintaining a two-car detached garage that figures into the lot area, but it meets the requirements for the side and rear yard. The owners have spoken to the neighbors, and they're are no objections to this proposed construction. Thank you.
There's no full plans in here.
Is there a basement entrance?
Now or proposed? Here, take what you want.
No. It's not on the foundation plan, and as existing or proposed. The basement's unfinished.
Basement height is 7 feet, only an interior access. No, there is no basement entrance.
Mr. Jacobs, on the first floor plan, A2, existing cabinetry appliances to be removed,
What?
Oh, it's him. I think you were,
No, not me, not me.
Okay.
I'm good.
The kitchen is being relocated. To the left side of the house, and as part of the second floor addition, it's gonna be open under the second floor. They have a slider going out from the kitchen to the deck, which is covered, the proposed deck, which is covered by the second floor.
So it's a roofed over the deck in the rear,
Yeah, proposed,
proposed.
correct. And the second floor is above it, which is part of the master bedroom.
The roofed over deck, it's not going to have a first floor occupancy. It's just the deck open below with a second story?
Yeah, there's a sliding door going from the kitchen out to the deck, a 6-foot slider. I guess if they want to barbecue or eat
Okay.
outside.
So,
Excuse me, sir. There's an addition on the back already, right? A
Yes.
single floor.
The deck is gonna square it off.
Okay.
That's the only increase in the lot coverage, is the area of the deck with the second floor above. All the other spaces are existing, and you can see that they're putting in a series of beams, like in the front where it's the enclosed porch. We're putting in a large micro-air beam to open up the enclosed porch to become part of the living room.
This is going to remain a single-family house.
Oh, yeah. They have 3 children.
Okay, thank you.
Your client will agree to a condition,
Excuse me?
your client will agree to a condition that that deck, first floor deck, not be enclosed in the future?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As I said, if we were on the right size lot, we wouldn't be here for a lot coverage variance.
Any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Welcome. You don't know what we're doing, don't back us. It's not 11 o'clock, right? Guess we have to wait. Yeah, why not? Yeah, let's do that. Okay? No. Okay. First case, 118 of 2025, Inwood, Rafael Russo, Elizabeth Russo, Caitlin Russo, Megan Jara Gallegos, and Kristen Mendar. That's renewal of a grant to maintain a two-family dwelling. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, case 118 of 25 Inwood, Rafael Russo, renewal of a grant to maintain two-family house, be granted as requested, 5 years, same condition.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next case, 119 of 2025 East Meadow, Rosario Almedilla, renewal of a grant to maintain a 4-foot-high fence within a clear sight triangle. That's, property is located at 2255 Jefferson Street. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 119 of 25 in East Meadow, Rosario Almandia, located at 2255 Jefferson Street, be approved as requested,
Fence
temporary 5 years.
conditions.
Yeah.
Second.
I was about to say temporary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Cases 120 of 25 through 122 of 2025, Mercury Building and Remodeling. Property address located at 2049 Decker Avenue. It's a side yard variance to replace 2 AC units attached to a dwelling, special exception to maintain a shed higher than permitted with less than required setback on Clark Street, and maintain a 10-foot-high living fence in the front yard on Clark Street, and within the clear sight triangle at the owner's driveway. And finally, to maintain a 15-foot-high living fence. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion? No motion?
I don't know, 15-foot-high fence and a
Okay.
10-foot-high fence? Is it,
I think we'll hold it, and somebody, if they haven't gone out, look
I will look at it.
at it. Joe P. Next cases, 123 through 126 of 2025, Merrick. Anthony and Rosemary A. Pata. This is a mother-daughter, proposed mother-daughter residence, second kitchen, variance lot area occupied. Construct a one-story addition and second-story deck, both attached to the dwelling. Variance side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling, and another side yard variance, install an AC unit attached to dwelling. The applicant agreed to a condition that the second-story deck will never be enclosed. Do I have any other comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Was that one?
Pardon?
Yes.
No, that was the other
No,
one.
Pata?
That was the,
Pata wasn't that, Pata was Gene Kennedy. Yeah,
Oh,
Pata was
okay,
Gene
yeah.
Kennedy. We have to-
Okay, so we're going to hold that.
Well,
oh, yeah, you're right.
Do you want to hold it, or do you want?
you could make a note and refer to the buildings department to re-review that
Fences?
fence.
Well, when they would go out and inspect it, they would either be flagged. I do believe he stated that he would cut the fence back if needed.
He
So
did.
can we grant it on condition that if it's, the fence is
We're
no
not
good?
sure about the fence. So basically what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a final inspection. If that doesn't pass final inspection, they're gonna have the opportunity to either legalize it with a variance or cut it back. So it's whatever the board wants to do. You want to put on hold, fine, you want to decide it? What do you think?
I think we could decide it, and then with a flag to the buildings department,
To take a
please,
look at the fence.
please note that, the fences came up at the hearing.
Right.
So,
The one fence.
the one fence, right?
Which is on the left side of the driveway. The one
Yeah.
on the right happens to be the
Oh,
neighbor's
The
fence.
neighbors.
So,
So,
I move that case 123 of 2025, the mother-daughter that be granted in accordance with the mother-daughter conditions. That case 124 to 126 be granted as requested, again with the notation to the buildings department to verify the legality of the shed and the fence.
And case 124 with conditions, correct? That second-story deck remain open?
Oh, okay, yes.
Yep.
I missed that one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Cases 127 and 128 of 2025, Uniondale, Eric Jex and Juslin Noboa. Variances, height, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, constructed two-story addition and second-story addition, a portion of which is open below and roofed over. Open porch, all attached to the dwelling. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain a two-car detached garage. The applicant agreed to a condition that the deck is to remain open and never be enclosed. Do I have any other questions from the board or comments?
I move cases 127 and 128 of 2025 with respect to location at 226 Green Grove Avenue in Uniondale be granted as requested with the condition that the first floor deck never be enclosed. It was agreed to by the applicant.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That concludes the morning calendar. Do we have,
Want to go to reserve?
yeah. Yeah, let's go to reserves. Okay, 6:20, tenant's still not out.
Okay, we have an update actually.
On,
That one, 620, the applicant's agent emailed us, and apparently the tenants are out.
document, second-story addition. I don't even,
So we could grant this.
Me.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
If somebody has reviewed yeah, and I believe you've inspected it multiple times. Yeah. So. You're familiar with the record?
Yep.
So.
Mrs. Adams, you're also familiar with the record.
Yes, I am,
correct.
with respect
So-
to that 620 of 2024.
Yes.
Can I have a motion?
So,
I'll make,
go ahead.
are you gonna go?
Only that the owners don't rent the slobs anymore. That's the condition.
That's the condition?
Why don't, we could have a condition that it be owner occupied.
That's not fair.
It's a one-family dwelling. How do you pay?
It's not a new house. Just that you'd make a note that it could be.
I think the big issue was not that it was rented out, it was
That's-
the tenants.
Yeah.
Correct.
Tenants were a
And I
problem.
think that was the biggest complaint that the,
Do we admonish them and make a note that the property was unkept?
if I'm not mistaken, I do believe they testified that it was going to be owner occupied, correct, Pat?
Because if they put in a second story, or like they want to, the problem is that it's not owner occupied, but they put two tenants in it.
Can we unilaterally impose that condition unless they agree to it?
Why don't we revisit this in
Mhm.
the afternoon? I will peruse the minutes and, because I'm pretty sure that was testified to at the hearing.
Okay,
That they would owner occupy it?
Correct.
so we'll hold it for the PM
Some kids
session.
have a young mind.
Cases 712 through 714 of 2024 Roosevelt.
No update?
No update? Okay.
But we were actually wondering if the board would be okay with all of the older cases. At this point, like, for example, case 738 and 739, I emailed all parties that were on OpenGov that they needed to submit an updated plot plan on January 31st. I have not heard anything. It's over a month. Would the board be okay if we send out letters let them know that if they do
If
not
they don't-
contact our office, if they do not do what is requested of them, they risk dismissal?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So this is the letter.
Yeah, so,
How many other similar cases do we have?
well, you know, I feel like it's fair, we'll give them one shot, and we'll reach out to them, and then after that, if it's radio silence, they're not keeping in touch with our office, then, you know, within 30, you know, if it's after 30 days, we contact them. Correct,
Yeah. Move it.
correct, correct.
There's nothing on 729 and 730?
So that was a renewal, and apparently there were 3 other cases that needed to be renewed in conjunction with this property.
And
This calendar, the April 9th calendar.
So, okay, 4/9, all right.
Would you, Patrick, when that comes up, the 4/9, put this also with that. You could flag it and just say, you know, put in parentheses something to that effect.
729 and 730 and the other cases.
Yeah. So that-
So we know it's really, quite frankly, it's 5 cases
right.
that should be heard on April 9th. Or decisions should be made. We heard this case.
Okay, on page 2, we do have an update on case 77. The plot plan, the updated plot plan was submitted.
Sealed?
Yes,
Okay,
it's affirmed.
okay. Somebody want to make a motion on this case in light of the fact that a sealed plot plan?
And there also is a roof over porch.
I move that case 77 of 2025. Barnyana, applicant is at 3229 Roxbury Lane in Levittown, that we grant this with the open porch never to be enclosed, and the vestibule and the rest of the case is okay.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We contacted the applicant, but I don't believe the entire board was okay with residential. Grant height variance,
Yeah.
you know, and this,
Yep.
I don't believe there
That's
was a difference between Crown Road and grade, like the other cases.
Record?
I don't recall off the top of my head. Unfortunately, we've been getting a lot of these cases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we'll get to that in a minute. Anybody want to make a motion on case 84?
Okay, with respect to case 84 of 2025, location of property 114 Oak Street in Woodmere. The height, the variance for the height is denied. Lot area occupied granted, side yards aggregate
Grant.
granted, and the construction of the dwelling with conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next case, 94 of 2025. Did you get a chance to inspect, Mr. Plummer?
Yes, I inspected. I have pictures of the property, too. The houses,
Another high favorite.
the applicant claimed that all the other houses in the area were over height, which I didn't have a measurer, but it didn't seem like that. It seemed like the houses that were over height were in Cedarhurst, which is a couple of blocks away.
It's also an incorporated village, and we have no jurisdiction.
Exactly. And the house that I looked at is, they're knocking it down. It's a perfectly good house, so they want to, I guess they have, you know, they want to build a brand-new house, and I took a couple of pictures of newer houses in the neighborhood, and they didn't seem to look like they were 34 feet. His argument from the crown of the road is elevated, which it is, and the house is on a hill, a little bit of a hill, but that's, to me, then lower the grade. You get build lower, and, so to me, everything's fine except the height, in my opinion.
Want to make a motion?
What, does everybody else agree, or?
Yes,
Sure,
I'm fine.
yes.
It's a bad precedent.
I viewed it.
I make a motion, file number 24 of 25 of 20, excuse me, 94 of 25.
2025.
Woodmere, Jerome Heller, variances height, lot, area occupied, construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling. As far as height, we deny the height variance. As far as lot area occupied, we grant it. To construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling, we grant.
With new home
With new home
conditions.
conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next case, 102 and 103. Did the building department inspect the fence?
I'm unaware.
Okay, we'll hold it. Okay. PM? PM, she
Yes.
inspected it? Okay. Cases 206 through 209 of 2024. Merrick, George Kiriak.
I'm unaware of any new plans that were filed.
Do we not want to send a letter out on this as well?
Well, this one, it was heard quite a while ago,
Mhm.
and then it was just heard again last week.
Okay.
So, if you would like, I will happily contact them. And again, if we don't hear anything in 30 days from that date, I think the new process should be we send that letter.
Agreed.
Because
Contact.
it's, we,
They go on forever.
correct. And this is an
So
old one.
this is contact and then a letter in 30. Okay. Case 111 of 2025, Elmont, Quasar Chowdhury. Did you contact Mr. M?
We did,
And?
and he did submit new plans. They did reduce the height.
Mhm.
They removed that side entrance and turned the stairs on that one home. And the plans will likely show that the side yards will now be 7 between, and the larger side yards 8 with the neighbors.
Right.
Okay.
That was Joanne's idea.
Very, very
Did he
good.
agree to owner occupied?
Oh, yes, they did at the hearing.
Okay.
They did at the
And
hearing.
that as well for case 112 of 2025.
Correct. And I believe this one, there was that substantial grade. You'll remember the photographs, there was that retaining wall.
Right.
So there was quite a large elevation. I thought it was like 7 or 8 feet.
This was that had a retaining wall that was
Yes.
3 or 4 feet.
And then it's,
And then it was up,
yep,
it was like, I think it was
like 7 or 8 feet.
8, I believe it was 8 feet to grade.
And my suggestion would be, in the event the board is inclined to grant the height variance, in the decision, we make mention about the height and the size of the home. That's if the board's inclined to grant that. But just this way, we kind of distinguish one.
How about you draft?
Yeah, sure, draft it.
Draft a decision on that one.
And I think I know,
I think you know what
You
to
do.
put in it.
okay.
Okay. Only because it involves the height.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Next cases, 113 of 2025 and 114 of 2025.
I believe-
Was there an NCPC determination?
It was, and it was local determination, so we
Okay.
can't decide that. And we'll remember that the applicant agreed to move the air conditioning units to the rear yard, which
Right.
would remove the,
Rick,
Side
doesn't
yard
need a
variance.
variance for that. Yep. Somebody like to make a motion on these cases? You know?
I make a
Okay.
oh, you can do?
Go ahead.
Who's-
Okay, with respect to 113 of 2025, location of property, 7 Elm Street in, or near Freeport, the Diamond Development Properties Corp. I move that that be granted with all conditions necessary.
Did he submit a new plan showing where the ACs
They
are going to
did
be
not,
located?
they did not submit new plans, but they did agree at the hearing
Okay,
to move them. So we can dismiss that portion without prejudice,
all right.
if that makes sense.
Deny it. Deny the air conditioners.
Or tonight.
Next to the
So,
flag.
so with respect to the
He's gonna put them in the back legally.
Which is where the-
2 air conditioning units attached, the applicant has agreed to move the air conditioners to the rear yard for the variance to be removed. Therefore, the variance for the 2 air conditioning units in the place which is now situated on the site plan is denied. The remainder is granted
With new home.
New home
with new home
conditions.
conditions, yes.
And I know it doesn't state on the calendar, but we will also need a secret.
Okay.
Go for it, Joe.
And do we have a second on?
Second.
All in favor? No, you can't. We have to
Aye.
do secret
Gonna hold that.
first.
Just
We
set
have
that
to do
aside.
secret first.
On, where'd it go? On the case number 113, 2025, and 114, 2025, Diamond Development Properties. It's located on Raymond Avenue, west side of Elm, and also the second companion to this, it's located at 7 Elm Street, both in Freeport. Based on the information submitted at the board and the files, that I move that these cases be granted a negative declaration under SEQA.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Okay.
now,
Adam's motion?
With right.
Renew it?
Okay. With respect to 113 of 2025, location of new property, or where the new property, the address of where the new property will be is 7 Elm Street near Freeport. It's Diamond Development Properties Corp. The variance with respect to the 2 air conditioning units attached to the side, the applicant has agreed to move the air conditioning to the rear yard to remove the variance, so that variance is denied. The remainder are granted, and all new home conditions added.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
all in favor? Okay.
Okay, you do next
She can
one.
get away with that.
We got one more. We have one more.
You do?
Well, 114, did you add 114?
I did.
Oh, I didn't add 114. So 114 is the same as 113.
Did we ask about owner occupancy on these?
I'm pretty sure at every subdivision, it's asked, and that's always a condition.
Okay.
Now, I have one more thing. Before we go to call, that I did email over proposed findings with respect to 659 Holdings LLC. I emailed them over a couple of weeks ago. I was wondering if we could adopt those findings.
Make a motion? Yeah,
Oh,
right, that's-
that.
Yeah,
This- you
yeah,
guys
right.
remember, this is the mason, the warehouse masonry.
You've been practicing this. Oh, that.
Would someone like to make a motion after reviewing?
With respect to case number 414 of 2024, applicant is 659 Holdings LLC. Property is 659 Woodfield Road in West Hempstead. I move that we adopt the holdings. Findings.
Dated March 5th, 2025.
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Any opposed? What do we have? Extensions of time.
Yes.
We have a request for an extension of time. The applicant is David Coletti. It's located 3888 Ralph Street in Seaford. It was a case to lot area occupied, maintain an addition to a dwelling. It was granted 1/10/2024. And it was, yes, that was heard then. It was granted on 2/7/2024, and they need an extension of time to, they had a personal issue needed to attend to, and they could not provide the necessary documents at this time. I move that we grant them a 6-month extension of time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Bad fingers.
That concludes whatever it concludes.
Let's adjourn for the day.
I mean, half hour break. Okay, we'll come back at 11 o'clock.
Next, we have case 130625 Merrick, Stephen Kochers, and Mitchell Kochers doing business as Kochers and Company Accountants and Consultants. Renewal of grant for use variance to maintain non-resident CPA in Res B District, also known as 1094 Merrick Avenue. We also have case 41 of 25 Merrick, Stephen Kochers, and Mitchell Kochers doing business as Kochers and Company Accountants and Consultants. Renewal of grant for variance in off-street parking and permission to park in Res B District and in front yard setback on Merrick Avenue, also known as 1094 Merrick Avenue. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. The two cases, the applications before the board are for renewals. This is, I think, the third or fourth renewal for the non-resident CPA firm. They are owners of the property since at least 1989. I think the original application for the non-resident was in 2005. They operate a small professional service for the community, and most of their work is done off premises. They have maintained the property as a residential split-level type dwelling. It's in good condition, and the applicants request a continuation of the non-resident CPA firm, as well as the off-street parking and parking in the front yard setback on Merrick Avenue.
These being renewals. Building Department inspected the premises on October 28th of 2024 and found that all conditions previously imposed by the board are being complied with. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Nelson?
No, sir.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on a decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Thank you so
Second.
much.
All
You're
in
welcome.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have a great day.
You too. Mr. Tuffarelli.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have cases 2225 through 2325 Seaford, Joseph Tuffarelli. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain metal roof over patio attached dwelling. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain detached garage, also known as 3938 Howard Avenue.
Good morning, my name is Ashley Lowe-Canese from Mark Anthony Architects. Our office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, New York. I am here today on behalf of our client, Mr. Joseph Tuffarelli, who is the owner and occupant of the subject property located at 3938 Howard Avenue in Seaford, New York. We are here today as a result of two maintain applications that were filed with the building department to legalize an existing frame garage and to maintain an existing roof over concrete patio. We are here in regard to lot coverage. The total lot is 6,000 square feet. Sorry, I lost my place. And the maximum lot coverage allowed is 25% for a Residence A zone. However, the existing lot coverage is 28.95%, for which we require relief of 3.95%.
How much of that is the metal roof over patio?
Hold on one sec. I don't think I have that number, but I can do the math. Just give me one sec.
Sure. Square footage, how much, Joey?
Of what, the garage?
No.
It's not on here. You know, Ashley, the dimensions for the
Roof over
roof
patio.
over patio are not on the plot plan.
I think that they might have gotten blacked out with the hatch, but I do have the A0 for the roof plan. Would you guys like it? It's 31.9 by 11.5, but I can give you guys a A0. Just give me 1 second, I'm just
Yes.
doing my math on it.
It's 500 square feet. What would the percentage be? Res A, how big is the lot?
I don't know, I don't remember.
31.9 by,
31.9.
by 11.
Yeah, because it's smaller than the house.
What's the matter? Fire drill?
Actually, while we're making that while you're making that calculation, we're gonna step off for a second.
Okay, I have
Okay.
it whenever you guys are ready. Thank you, Colleen. Oh. I'm a Jew, but thank you. I appreciate it. I knew it was coming, don't worry. One more.
Record now. You have an answer for that, Ashley?
I do. It's 5.9% is the roof over.
5.9%. Okay, and I'm sure your client will agree to a condition that that area not be
Yes,
contained? Okay.
What's in the garage?
Can ask. Mrs. Perry would like to know what's in the garage.
I believe it's just storage.
Does anybody,
Storage of a car?
does anybody park a car in the garage?
You can, just one car. You can't fit more than one. The garage? Yeah, it's
It is.
20 by 20.
It is.
Say that again? It is.
Is
It's a nice
that
size.
shed removed yet?
No.
It will be removed?
Yes,
When?
before the inspection.
Okay.
And there
It'll be done,
are
yeah. Once the permit is issued, they'll do it before the inspection.
30-foot dormer at the rear roof elevation, and 2 by 10 rear addition. If this variance were to be granted, you're closing out all the open permits, I take it?
Yes. They'll all be closed out at the same time. We'll request them all at the same time.
Okay.
Did you want the A0 for the garage for the dimensions? I know you mentioned that it wasn't on the plot plan.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah?
Why don't you have her put them on in,
She should.
Yeah, it just has the dimensions for this, which it looks like they're blacked out on the, from the hatch.
Accepted.
yeah, let her do as an agent. But what, you wanted it for both?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she
this one
could,
has, the garage has, it.
oh, it does.
yeah.
Okay.
Accepted evidence. Oh, yeah.
Yep. You can barely see, yeah, look at that, that concrete.
Couldn't see it. Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not,
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you'll be notified. When you see Mark Anthony, tell him we said hello.
second,
Will do.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, it's not when, it's if you see Mark Anthony.
He's still around?
Yeah, I see him every day.
Oh, that,
You just, that's part of being the boss. You get to have someone else come and do the hearings now.
but you get out of the office, you don't have to look at him.
Also true. But I didn't say that. Hopefully that's not on the record.
Sure it is. Sure it is. We'll accentuate that. That concludes the morning calendar. I guess we can do a few more decisions before we leave. So we will have nothing this afternoon except the return of Becky.
Thank you.
In one
This
case.
is the,
All right. Let us now do some decisions on the 11 o'clock calendar cases. All right. Case 1306 of 2025, Merrick, and case 41 of 2025, Merrick, Stephen Koshers and Mitchell Koshers, DBA Koshers and Company Accountants and Consultants. First case is a renewal of a grant for a use variance to maintain a non-resident CPA in a Res B district located at 1094 Merrick Avenue. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, case 1306 at 25 Merrick, Stephen Kosher's renewal for grant to use variance to maintain non-resident CPA in resident B zone be granted as requested, same conditions. Temporary.
Next case, all in favor?
Second?
Second, all in favor? Aye. Case 41 of 2025, Merrick.
Do the next one?
As I
I'll do it.
mentioned a minute ago, renewal of a grant. This one's a renewal of a grant for a variance in off-street parking and permission to park in Res B district and front yard setback on Merrick Avenue. Property address is also 1094 Merrick Avenue. Do I have any comment from the board? If not, do I have another motion?
Make a motion, file number 41 of year 25, Merrick, Stephen Kosher's, doing business Kosher's and Company, accountant consultants, renewal of a grant for off-street parking and permission to park in Resident B be granted as requested, same conditions.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Temporary.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Cases 22 and 23 of 2025, Seaford, Joseph Taffarelli. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain a metal roof over patio attached to dwelling. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain a detached garage. Property address is 3938 Howard Avenue. The applicant's agent agreed to a condition that the roof over the patio itself will not be enclosed. Do I have any other comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 22 to 23 of 25, Seaford Joseph Tuffarelli, located at 3938 Howard Avenue, be approved as requested with the condition that case 22 remain open.
The porch remains open.
Yes, the
Patio.
porch.
Second.
Second?
All in favor? Any opposed? That concludes the morning calendar. We will recess until 2 p.m., at which time we will take up the remainder of the cases.
So, is there a second?
Second. All in favor? Pardon?